Okay, this is a super exciting day because I am starting on my faces journal. And when I saw this girl's face, I was like, okay, I must do her in a collage. So today we're going to be using, so here's all my faces, people. I brought my stuff over in case I need to grab something. We're going to be using this girl's face with this flower, okay? And I may go over the edge or I may not. I don't know yet. So this is really super interesting to me. This is a woman of color, obviously. And this is a magazine article about a woman of color who felt like she couldn't go out in the outdoors. And I love the color combination of this. So we are going to use part of this for the background. Not necessarily the black parts, but just the yellow parts. But I love the idea. So a lot of times in my journals, if I'm not telling you what I'm doing, there is something going on that is, there's something going on in them that makes an impression on me. Okay, maybe I don't talk about that, but a lot of times there are things in my journals that are important to me. So anyways, let's go ahead and start on our background. So I am going to just put some of these papers around. We're going to get an idea of how many I want to have. And I have plenty more if I need them. So I'm going to put some on the corners. We got a crinkly page there. We will just wrap our stuff around it. That's because I have multiple pages Mod Podged together, because this is not a, I mean, it's a strong old book, but it is a almost, well, it's 106 years old. So we can't just beat it up like we do our mixed media paper, right? We gotta double pages up, do things like that. And I have a video that I will link to here about how to do your start an altered book. Let's just get some of these down. I would like a straight line right there because I can't really cut that off. Over here, I can do whatever I want because then I can just hack it off, right? Okay, let's do that there. And then one more piece up here in this corner, and I think that's enough. This is not about this background. Ooh, can we get that? I feel like that's all long. How about that? That's perfect. Get that up in that corner. Oh, I love that. All right, now we are going to use some of this pattern paper and go over this with it and just get a total color on this background. Because I'm not sure yet what I'm doing with this background, or with this collage, but you always need to have some kind of background, be it paint, be it tissue paper, be it, let's see, what else do I use? I use all kinds of stuff in the background. I'm using this pattern. When I say pattern paper, it is from Old Fashioned Sewing Patterns. I got it at a thrift store for 29 cents for like 1,000,000 pieces of it, right? And there's two reasons I love it. One, sneaky. Oh no, that's okay. There's just two up there. All right, we can sneak that one out, I think. There we go. And we're gonna put that right there. There's a few reasons I love it. Number one, I love the color of it. This kind of sepia tone color is just a color I enjoy in my artwork. I like that it has intermittent words or lines or things like that to kind of break it up. And I love that it is easy to use with Mod Podge. It is just an amazing to me product that you can buy at the thrift store, because people don't make as many clothes, but back in the day when they made clothes, they all used their patterns. Okay, so let's cut some more pieces of this. Ooh, a circle. That's special. I like that. Which one has the circle? There we go. Look at this circle for right here. We kind of have an open space. Oh, the other thing about this is look at how you can see the words on the page, but you're definitely not like going to be focusing on the words. It kind of takes away from that. All right, I'm not going to cover this whole top. I'll leave those peeking out for right now because I can always come back if I want. I do want everything covered in something though. So whether it's a, ooh, look, that circle's over here. So whether it's a piece of pattern paper or whether it's a piece of magazine background, I do want everything covered because I want kind of a neutral color palette for this. Because with the Faces journal, I want the faces to kind of be the star of the show. I don't have one little piece. I don't have one. And I know that this is going to be covered. So that makes it especially aggravating. All right, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to put my pattern paper away. Now I want to talk to you very sincerely about being an artist. Because I think one of the reasons why I love magazine collage so much is that you don't have to be an artist if you're talking about being able to draw or paint. So the other day at an offsite meeting I went to sit by myself, and I looked up some different kinds of magazine collage with faces, and then I drew them. So this is faces on stems. This is half a face. This is a face with a big eye, kind of a crown head. This is Diane Reevely. I took a course from her on I Had a Thoughts. I'm going to do that one. This is changing out somebody's eye. Two faces looking in, faces looking up, faces looking down. Animal face, cut open with something in the middle. And then this one, oh, replace both eyes. And then this one, which is cut the face into different pieces and have something going through it. So that is what we're going to do today. Because I saw this lady and I just uh-oh. That is not stuck down. You were going, that is not stuck down. Okay, there we go. That's stuck down now. All right. So I saw this lady, and this is just to keep my pages, keep me from gluing my pages to the page behind it. Doot, doot. Okay, so I saw this lady, and I was just enthralled with her face, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to, so it's cut it in half, so you have the, maybe through the nose. I'm going to go through the nose. Okay. And this is going to be the base of her. I should probably not do this when all this is all wet. And then I'm going to cut this in half along her eye line. I mean, like between her eyes. Okay. And I might be having another cut down there, but then I'm going to feed this flower through her face, right? Like have a part of her face here have a part of her face maybe over here. Where's the bottom of her face? Oh, because it's gluing itself to the thing because I glued on it. So maybe I kind of like how striking she is. I can even cut up my flower, right? So I want like something like this to where you know obviously it's her, but the flower is kind of through her face. So obviously I need to let this dry before we can do much more. I will be back. I was so excited to get going on this, I forgot you. Okay, so this is the first faces one. We're gonna do the one with the faces broken apart. We had the gal with the different, like her face is just really striking and amazing. I love her, her tattoo down here. And I am just I haven't done anything. I glued this leaf down and I glued the bottom of her face down. So anyways, we're still going to be doing lots of stuff on this one, but I was like, I forgot them. I was so excited to do this project for two reasons. She has a really cool face, and this is the key, is the more I do anything, the better at it I get, right? And so if I can spend a bunch of time putting faces together and figuring out how things go together, I will wind up with a really, really amazing new skill that I can use for my art. Okay, so now I feel like I want to kind of wrap. So I'm getting rid of that problem right there, right? Do we want to put her eye behind here? Do we want to put her eye in front of here? I feel like when I did the leaf over top of the eye, I kind of lost her, right? Okay, so to me, that means that leaf is not going to be seen. So if it's not going to be seen, I'm going to cut it off because maybe we can use it somewhere else. All right, I'm trying to tuck her lips and her nose right there, okay? And then this is the one where we have something in the middle of stuff. So I almost feel like, what if we do this and her face is kind of correct as if it would do that. Oh, what if we move this part over there? Then I do feel like we have to move this one up here. What do you think? All right, let's see. Oh, I kind of love that. I love this. Okay, so when I find something that I actually like, I just go ahead and glue it because I can solve problems easier than I can come up with ideas. Because I could always cut that leaf off if I absolutely had to, right? So I'm just going to go around here. And I'm going to wind up having to come in and glue the edges. But I'm just trying to get that part of her face on there. This is how you wind up with whole bunches of different parts of your collage not stuck down. Because you get all excited and you start gluing stuff. All right. Okay, so I love that. That'll dry clear. Okay, I love, stop sticking. I love this part of this flower being here. Okay. And this is Nuvo glue, so it will dry clear. Sometimes you can kind of rub it off, especially on the glossier magazines. It doesn't wrinkle the paper as much as some of them do. Okay, so now, oh, here, this is where we're starting. We're starting already. We're gonna have a whole bunch of this that isn't glued down. But first we have to decide if we're gonna have her, ooh, what do we think of that? That's kind of cool too, huh? Now, I could cut more into this. I should turn my book and do that, and get her even, well, I'm gonna have to get her further down, I guess, if I wanna do this, because she's gonna stick up over the edge. I kind of feel like I'm losing, about, if we do this, well, I like that better, I think. I kind of want her to be right there. So we are going to stick her onto this flower. Okay. Oh, I did stick down. I was thinking, did I stick down part of this flower or did I just glue it in the wrong place again? But no, we stuck it down on her face. Okay, so I like that. Do we want to finish her? Okay, so next let's talk about butterfly wings. So these are real butterfly wings from real butterflies. So they are not, I wouldn't like cartoony butterfly wings, but this is from a National Geographic magazine. Do we want to give this girl, woman, I'm gonna cut this in half. I kind of like how that follows that. Actually, I don't like how much that is on the leaf. Okay, I can already tell that this, whatever this thing going on here on the edge is problematic for me, so I'm going to cut that off. So I just have a pointy part. Cut that off, so I just have a pointy part. Oh, I like that much better. Okay, I kind of love that. Okay, I've never been sad to have wings later. I've only been unhappy that I didn't have wings, so I'm putting on wings. Bought a whole book of butterfly wings so I could have some wings. Little fairy wings. So now we know this isn't stuck down, right? Right. All right, let's stick down this other wing. It's gonna be behind a leaf. I guess it's not behind a leaf. It's getting all like bold because I'm like, it's behind a leaf. Ain't nothing to worry about, but then it wasn't behind a leaf. Okay, so let's start gluing some of this down so we don't have weird bits. All right, I'm gonna come in here as far as I can. This whole thing gets glued down. This gets glued down to about here. That is such pretty rhubarb pie. I'm bummed that they put the gorgeous woman over top of the rhubarb pie so we couldn't use both of them. But this woman is striking. All right, so we're gonna glue to right there. I'm gonna come back later and make sure that's glued in there, and then I'll probably use an X-Acto knife to cut that off. Now we have this side of this. Is there a part that's not glued to itself? That's just where I cut that part to check and see if we wanted to slide her face down in there. Now you'll see when I put it back together, you can't even tell that I cut that part, so don't worry so much about trying things or making mistakes, because that's just not how it works. And when you have 11 billion things, they're not really gonna notice if you had a little tiny cut in this part of the flower up here, right? They're just not. Okay, whew, this is exciting. Now that we have this a little figured out, I almost feel like I need to start deciding what I'm going to do with the background. So I found some quotes about grief and about surviving, things like that. And I have a bunch of people in my life who are grieving. I have this extra leaf. Okay, I think that extra leaf is going to go right there like that. What do we think? Nope. Do we want it up here? Oh, I kind of like that. Do we want it coming down here from the top? Ooh, that's kind of fun. Oh, that's kind of fun. Okay. That is why you want to keep moving your stuff around. So I will do stuff and like if I get tired, then I tend to start sticking stuff down. But when the real magic happens is when I am okay with something, but I just keep moving it around until I'm like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. I love that. So take the time to move your stuff around, especially if you're doing one of these cut up faces, because I don't think this is normal for us. I don't think human beings are like, oh, I know exactly how to manage a cut up face. I think we have to think about this maybe a little bit more than we do other things. All right, did that come off? There we go. I probably glued it down a little bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, perfect. Did I pull that corner up? No. Did I pull this corner up? Okay, so this is where I'm at. I am going to outline this because whenever I outline my stuff in black Posca pen, whenever I outline my stuff, I start to get a better idea of what I have going on. So I think that will give me a better idea. And then I may write the quotes around the places. I'm not sure yet. Or I may just write it in an outline around. I don't know. But I'm going to do some doodling and I will be back. So I am really thrilled with how this has gone so far. I journaled that quote. When you meet someone deep in grief, slip off your needs and set them by the door. Entered barefoot this darkened chapel, hallowed by loss, hallowed by sorrow, its gray stone walls and floor. You, congregation of one, are here to listen, not to sing. Kneel in the back pew, make no sound, let the candles speak. So the name of this piece to me is Let the Candles Speak, and that was a poem by Patricia, McKernon, Runkle. And I will have that whole poem in the description in case you want to read it again. Anyways, so this is going to be a big shock to you. I want to emboss some stuff on here. If you follow my channel at all, you know I am an embossing fool. Okay, so I have a couple of things that I want to emboss. So I want to emboss her lips, I want to emboss her hair, and I want to emboss these wings. Now let's start with the wings. So when I look at this piece and I squint my eyes, the thing I see the most is the wings, not her face. So that means I need to knock back those wings, and I am going to use Distress Embossing Glaze, which is a translucent glaze. And I am going to put really pale blue over these. Now let's think about our color theory class. When I mix blue and yellow, because it's translucent, so you'll still see that yellow color through it, what do I think will happen? Okay, I think it will turn green. Now, I have not done this before, so there's a slight chance. And I didn't open my embossing glaze, so there is a slight chance this will not work the way I think it will. But that's okay, because then I could just put some other embossing powder over it. Okay, so let's get the majority of that off. Let's do this one. Let's get the majority off of that. And then let's, oops, I got a little bit over here. Then let's sweep our picture. Because if you see embossing powder, you're gonna see embossing, right? I always say that because I used to think, oh, well, it'll be fine. And then it was never fine. So, if you follow my channel, you know I always say that. You can follow along. It's very fun. Okay. I don't worry about it on the black because it'll just go translucent and glossy on the black. And I like glossy. Glossy is my jam. Okay. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Let me just check real quick down here. There's some grunge, but I think it's from that paper behind there. So let's cross our fingers and hope this turns greenish. Maybe not green, but definitely not as yellow as it is now. Okay. So when I squint, I still see those the most. So now we have to think about another color to put on there. I'm going to try next antique linen, but I'm going to wait 1 minute for that to dry. Do not use your sleeves to wipe up your pictures. Oh, okay. So here we go. So I have two different colors, Crackling Campfire, which is going to be a super bold red, and Tattered Rose, which is going to be a pink. But when I put it over this red hair, it should give us like a red hair with some vibrancy. And I don't necessarily want to make her hair crazy. Now, I may use this Crackling Campfire on her lips because I think I might like that. But for her hair, I am going to go with the Tattered Rose, which is a little bit more delicate than the Crackling Campfire. Okie dokie, okie dokie. And Ranger's probably super sad that I use my icky old pen, but it just works so well to get in big areas because that end of it is just all goopy. All right, so let's do this. Okay, everybody always asks me about my embossing tray. It is from Amazon, and I've been lying to you. I said it was $7, but it's $8 now. Crazy price hikes, probably from the pandemic. Okay, so we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and then if it dried too much because I had to put away my weathered wood, then I can just do it again, right? I feel like I love embossing because it's the least stressful thing I do. I can always just go in and emboss again. Okay, so let's sweep this. Where's our sweeper? There's our sweeper. Tap off the other color and let's sweep in this color. Okay, functionally what you want to kind of do is just get it loosened from the page. And then it will, when I tip it over, it'll not stick anymore. Look, there's a big old glob by her face. We don't want that for sure. Is that her head up here? What about this? I think we got a little extra up there. Let's tap, tap, tap. See what happens. Oh, we got a whole bunch in here. Gotta get rid of that. Sweep, sweep, sweep. You would think with all this sweeping I do that I like cleaning, but I don't. I invite my friend Tina D to come stay, and she is a crazy cleaning nut. And then when she's not around, I clean for us. My daughter Desi helps me clean. We both clean. All right, so let's try this one. Ooh, that's nice. See? It's not crazy red, but it's pretty red. And then you may wonder why I went all the way down here with it and all the way down here where it's dark. Because if I just did that top part and there was no, and there was just like a cutoff of the glaze, the glaze is shiny. And so you would notice it. So what I want to do with my art products is I want them to enhance it, not to draw your attention to it, okay? All right, so now we're gonna do her lips because her lips are cool. Do not use your sleeve to wipe off your art projects. Okay, we need our good one. Okay, here's our good one. So we're going to do this. Oh, I should have brought my glasses. I have to stand way back because I'm 54 and I can no longer see like a real person. All right, let's do her top lip. I'm not going to try to do them all. And her bottom, maybe her, I can see the definition of her bottom lip. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to stop. And this should, ooh, this is a new one too. I got a couple new colors, yay me. Okay, whew, that's stressful. Okay, so this looks very orange, which is fine because her hair is orange-ish, orangish red. But what will happen is that color, we gotta get her face. We have lots on her face, and there's little bags you can buy to stop the static electricity, which is why this sticks. I have one. I get too excited, honestly. I get all excited to play with my art supplies, and then I don't use the little static bag. And then by the time I realize I should have used the static bag, I'm like already doing something. Too excited again. Okay, there we go. All right. And you know, over the black part in the middle, you won't see much, but I don't want to have too much in there, or I don't want to have like weird red parts on her face. I think we got it. Let's lay this down and then we'll see. There's my poem. Okay, I think there's a little bit right there. Let's get rid of that. All right, let's do her lips. I love that. It just popped them out a little bit. I think this is the kind of thing that I want to do more and more and more, but that is the only part of her lips that show up because there were some there. I think the more I do, the less I'll like it. Okay, here's something we can do with our fine point. That's our fine tip. Let's get her eyes and kind of her top eyelid. And I am just going to put clear on there, which will make it shiny. It won't take away from her natural prettiness. Okay, so here's the scoop. You can put the embossing powder on, and then you can take the rest of the day off and come back and just tip it off, and it will be stuck on. It'll be fine. It's only, the only fast part has to be when you put your embossing powder on, then you really want to get it in there, and you don't want to have to dump your old embossing powder out. And then you'll see there's some red in here. I want to really bang that out, maybe wipe it out, not with your sleeve, because that will show up in my my clear embossing powder. The clear won't show up in the red will show up in the clear. Yeah. Whew. Explaining things. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, sweeping. Now this would be a lot less of a debacle, right? Because this is going to be clear, but it's going to make her eye shiny and bold. And I do have black, so if I decide I want to add an extra little bit of judge, I can. And I have one more thing to tell you. Don't let me forget. Okay, this is something I learned from doing this a bunch. See how this eye kind of has the normal eye shape, so it has the half circle and then the full circle, and then this eye really only has part of the half circle on the side, right? So you may think, oh, I didn't do that right, but when I did it, that's how it was. People's eyes are not exactly the same. And so sometimes when I used to do this and I tried to make them exactly the same, the people looked weirder. Watch what happens when we do this. You'll see that her eyes just aren't the same. So there we go. Now that didn't do a ton, but it did. You'll be surprised how much you'll notice that. Okay, now we have to figure out our butterfly. So I could do another layer on the butterfly. I could do some red on the yellow that would make it orange, but because we have done it with blue and yellow already, it could just make a god-awful brownish ugly mess. Yeah? You gotta go potty? Come on. Come on. Sorry about that. When your 15-year-old dog comes and tells you she has to go potty, you move, right? She's the one that makes the ticky-ticky noise you hear in the background. Okay, I'll be sad when there's no more ticky-ticky noise. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to use a neutral color. This is antique linen. This is another new one too. I went nuts. I got some new colors. This will just kind of neutralize a little bit of it, I hope, without making it sad. I don't know why I always close it up. I have to knock it off and put it away. And this will not be that big a deal because it is a neutral kind of almost non-color. It's just tan. Cat hair. Cat hair alert. Do your kitties craft with you? My kitty crafts with me. Not the nice skinny one, the big derpy one does. She is feral. Well, she's not that feral anymore. She came to us feral, and she's nervous. So now, when I squint my eyes, I see this, this, and this, which is fine. It's balanced. There's 5 things on the page. We could, like, get all fancy and do this, but the flower isn't the effect that, isn't the piece that I want you to see. I don't know. I think she's done. I'm calling it. I love her. This turned out like exactly what I had pictured in my mind for one of those faces that are broken up and then have stuff in the middle of them. So hopefully that helps. Tara Jacobson, Artsy Fartsy Life.